Frequency Podcast Network. Stories that matter, podcasts that resonate.
Do you like to swim? I mean, who doesn't? It's fun to splash around in a pool or at a lake with the kids or some friends, or maybe you do some laps for a good exercise. If you do that, you may know that one length of an Olympic-sized pool is 50 meters long. Now imagine doing that length at least 1,160 times in frigid water with tides, winds, and other obstacles constantly getting in your way. Well, that's exactly what one Toronto high school teacher has accomplished this summer as he joined an elite group of people to claim they completed a solo swim across the English Channel. In fact, since 1875, there have been less than 3,000 solo swims between the shores of England and the beaches of France. And of those swimmers, only about 36 have been Canadian. It's no easy task. There's a lot of preparation, and it takes a grueling toll on your body. But some, like our guest today, get through it with some motivation from friends and family, and they raise money for charity. I'm Cormac Mac Sweeney, and today on The Big Story, I'm speaking with Sam Garrison, a teacher at Martin Grove Collegiate, and as of July 27th, can add accomplished swimmer to his resume. Sam, thanks very much for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Just getting over the jet lag this morning.
Yeah, we're speaking the morning after you arrived back in Canada from this amazing trip. How are you feeling right now? I imagine your arms and legs must be tired.
You know, it feels great to be back. Really couldn't sleep last night, so just when I woke up, saw it was 5 a.m, I was like, oh, it's the perfect time to head to the pool. So I just got back from a swim with the team.
Now, before we start talking about the details of the swim itself, I do want to know, we know each other. Your wife has been a friend of my family's since I was in high school, and we know each other through that, obviously. But I never expected you to be somebody who would swim across the English Channel. And when my brother notified me you did this, I was shocked and really proud of you. It's an amazing feat. Tell me how this came to be. Why did you make this decision? Because you're not technically a professional swimmer.
No, I honestly, if you told me 5 years ago I was going to do this, I would not have believed you. So it was about 3 years ago. I always enjoyed being in the water, but about 3 years ago, I decided after a bunch of years of pandemic teaching, I just needed something to deal with all the frustrations that I was feeling, and I just said, I was like, okay, I got to pick a goal, and somehow this came up as a goal. I was like, all right, let's sign up, let's do this, and then just commit to the 3 years of training to get it done.
And so it only, like some people might think it might be a lifetime of training to do this. It took you just 3 years?
It was a long 3 years.
Is it like training for a marathon then? You sort of start slow with a few laps and then you just have this regimented, this regime where you're basically increasing the amount of swims each time till you hit the point where you think you can do it?
So yeah, 3 years ago it was, I set sort of all sorts of benchmarks, talked to some people that knew what they were doing, and was like, all right, so I got to be able to swim for 20 minutes, got to be able to swim a mile, got to be able to swim an hour, then 2 hours, then, do a 5K race, do a 10K, just keep building from there. And it's kind of amazing when I look back at the training log. I'm like, wow, it's hard to believe how far 3 years ago was.
Yeah, and it's really an endurance thing more than anything. Did you get out of the pool and train it all in open water to try and prepare yourself for the channel?
Oh yeah, you got to do lots of open water and lots of cold water exposure. The channel's really cold, so one of the big challenges is dealing with potential hypothermia. So it's pretty much for the last 3 years, it's been nothing but cold showers. I've been going down to the lake every at least a couple times a week, even in wintertime, just to get in and get used to the cold and the frigid temperatures. So you get a lot of weird looks down on the beach in South Etobicoke in January.
I can imagine. So did you have to wear any special suit, or were you like just, bare skin with the trunks on?
Yeah, so the rules are pretty specific. So I have to wear just a swimsuit to do it. So that's where getting used to the cold is really important, because It can be quite a cold shock if you haven't built up to it.
So I understand that the shortest distance along the channel is about 33 or 34 kilometers. But of course, tides, winds, the conditions throw people off course constantly. How long was your swim in terms of kilometers, and how long did it take?
So looking at the GPS, talking to the captain afterwards, it looked like it was around 58 kilometers that we covered over the distance. So you take kind of an S curve from England to France. And that's just to deal with the tides, because otherwise you just get washed out to sea. So about 58 kilometers, and then we finished in about 16 hours and 15 minutes. So it's quite a day.
That's incredible. I have trouble running like 5 kilometers, so that's really amazing to see that you did that. So take us through the swim itself. Like when you started, I guess you probably, jumped in a little bit, got yourself wet, got accustomed to the water, and then what happened? Explain how that swim went for you. What was going through your mind?
Oh, it was, I'll never forget the experience. I mean, I was on the boat. They have an official observer there that has to record everything that happens. So she was getting my details on the boat right before I jumped in, and we started right about sunset. So she's looking at me, she's getting my details, and she sees that I'm shaking. She's like, "Are you nervous?" I look at her and I'm like, "Yeah, is anyone not?" So anyway, jump in the dark, swim to the beach, and then they put a big spotlight on you and you can see absolutely nothing else. You just see this light you're just standing on this rocky beach. You see this light just blaring in the face. They sound a siren, and then off you go. You just jump in the cold water and just start moving. It was, 7-8 hours of just swimming in the dark in the chop.
Do the people on the boat or the observer guide you in any way, saying you're swimming off course, or maybe, start swimming in that direction? Is there any guidance in there, or are you all on your own?
Yeah. So you swim, like there's a boat guiding you, because there's absolutely nothing to sight off. So you swim beside the boat, because that navigates it. It's also one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. So you've got all sorts of massive freighters coming through. So it wouldn't be safe for me to take the lead on that. So you pretty well follow the boat captain. Apparently there were moments on the boat where he was got pretty animated. I think there was an oil rig that was being moved. And so my crew was telling me afterwards that there was a lot of chatter on the radio, just being like, "There's a swimmer in the water. You're going to hit us."
Oh, wow. So you had a near miss with an oil frigate?
It seems like, yeah.
Were there any other issues that popped up while you were in the water? Fish, anything like that?
Well, one of the big hazards is you hit pretty much in like the middle of the channel, where the big shipping lanes are. It churns up a lot of the sea life. So there's a big section where it's just all jellyfish. So we had about 2 hours of just constant stings from jellyfish. So it was
Jeez. And how did the sting feel, and did it throw you off in any way? How did it make your muscles rigid? What happened there?
just hurts. It's like getting a bunch of stings. And at that point, I mean, that was around sunrise. So it was already 7 hours in. So you're just like, okay, this is what's happening. I'm just going to do it. But it was funny talking to the crew afterwards. That I'd get stung, I'd swear a little bit, and then I'd give them the thumbs up and be like, all right, I'm okay.
That's amazing. So what goes through your mind on such a long swim? I mean, like 16 hours. I know some people when they're running, they get into this Zen-like rhythm and they just maintain that and they don't think about a lot. But you're obviously talking with the captain of the boat, maybe the observer. Are you listening to music to try and energize yourself, or like what happens in that such a distance of a swim?
Yeah, so part of the training, or one of the things that I thought that I always been told for the training, was dealing with some of those long periods of time. Like that is a long period of time to be swimming and to be doing it solo, and so to deal with sort of the things going on in your head. But the conditions were so variable throughout the whole thing. Like at night, there were huge swells. It was a struggle to sort of keep beside the boat because the boat was rocking so much. Then there was the jellyfish, and then after the jellyfish segment, the strange thing about it was, all this time that I'd spent sort of training for, dealing with the, I guess boredom of the long swim. there was just so much happening that it was like you're just concentrating on the next breath, the next stroke the whole time.
Was there ever a moment you felt like giving up?
It was, this was actually probably one of the most touching moments was around. So when sunrise finally came up, we had a big whiteboard on the boat, and friends and family were on a big WhatsApp group. So they were able to get reception in the channel. And I, like, shoulders were aching. I don't know if you want to air this, but there was a lot of, seasickness going on from myself and from the crew. And it's just, you just think about how far you've come and how many more kilometers there are to go. And you just try to put that out of your mind, like, okay, I'm just going to keep going. But there's just these moments where you felt like giving up. And then they started putting messages from friends and family up on the whiteboard. And that was probably the most touching moment of this swim. It's, felt like I was going to fill up my goggles with tears. Just amazing hearing the messages from home. And I think one moment that really stood out to me was my sister's been going through cancer treatments, and she's just wrapping them up. And she sent a message saying, we're both on our own marathon right now. And they held that up, and I was like, okay, I'm not quitting this thing.
That's amazing. That's so touching and amazing to know that you had that support around you, pushing you through what seems like probably the toughest physical feat you've ever done in your life.
Oh, by far. The day after, I just looked across and I was like, there's no way I did that.
We'll have more in a moment on The Big Story with Sam Garrison, a high school teacher out of Toronto who swam the English Channel. Tell me the moment about when you arrived at the other shore, when you wrapped up this swim. How did you feel?
Oh, it's just a flood of emotions. Like I really didn't believe I was going to make it. Pretty much the whole way across. There was a moment in my head, I thought, I looked over at the boat and I was like, they're just going to let me swim to exhaustion and then pull me out. And I was like, okay, but I'm just going to keep moving. I'm going to do my part and just keep moving. And even near the end, there's about 500 meters left. They put the Zodiac boat in to escort me to shore. And I thought, it was like, okay, this might not be happening. And then finally, last couple strokes, that moment when my hand just goes down, it hits the sands, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I made it. And I just get out of the beach, run to shore, and then I just collapsed in tears on the side of the beach. It's if you could bottle that moment and have everyone experience that moment, I wish I could. I feel like everyone needs to experience a moment like that in their lives, because that was special. Just every emotion just coming to the surface, and just the feeling of 3 years. By the last year, I was setting my alarm for 3:45 in the morning so I could get in 3 to 4 hours of swimming before work. Just 3 years of that, and just feeling it all sort of come up right at that last moment when you hit the sand. So pretty overwhelming.
It's inspiring to hear all of this. How did you feel the morning after? What happened after the race?
Oh, so afterwards, I mean, they put you on the boat, you come on back. First thing, I called Joanna, called my mom. And then there's they don't let you stay in France for very long. So you get to go to the beach, you shake a couple hands, you grab a stone from the other side, and then they put you back on the boat, and just...
you didn't have to bring your passport or anything?
You have to bring your passport.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then there's about a 2-hour boat ride back to Dover from there, and just everything just sort of hitting you in waves, and you just start to realize. The morning after, it was funny. I was trying to put on a shirt, and like, well, I don't think these arms are going to move.
I can only imagine the pain you felt from all of that. How long did it take you to move properly again, or are you still stiff?
Yeah, probably still a little stiff. It was funny getting off the airplane yesterday. I was having a little bit of trouble getting to the overhead bins. The woman next to us sort of asked what was going on, and then it became the whole story. And she just kind of sat there and was like, oh. But yeah, still a little stiff. Went for a swim with the team this morning, though, so getting back at it.
You're part of a select group of swimmers who have accomplished this, but also even more select when it comes to Canadians. How many people have done this swim, and how many Canadians have?
I don't remember the exact stats. I think it's just under 3,000 people have done like the swim over it's been 150 years since the first crossing. So, you know, not a huge number. And I didn't realize this at the time, but someone sent me a message. I think I was the 35th or 36th Canadian to have done it.
How does that feel to be among a very few amount of Canadians who have ever done something like this?
Honestly, I was talking to someone that helped me train for ocean swimming, and he said, "Is like, it's going to hit you in waves. It's going to hit you in waves. The realizations of all these different things." Like I said earlier, like I never really considered myself a swimmer, and I never really considered that to be something that, I would go to the pool and I'd feel kind of anxious about getting in the medium and fast lane because I felt like, I don't belong there. And, all of a sudden this realization is like, oh, I belong there.
You trained for this, you had set this goal, but you didn't just do this for yourself. You did this for charity. Please tell us, what charity you chose and how people can donate to your cause and congratulate you for this amazing feat.
It started off very, very early, just, me finding an outlet for some of the frustrations that I was seeing with, things going on in the world, just seeing the news, just getting so frustrated and seeing all that and just trying to find an outlet. And then pretty soon it became, this shouldn't just be an outlet for me. This should be a way for people to show, I think there's a lot of compassionate and caring people out there. And I think we're all looking for a way to show that. And so one thing that really came out, my mother volunteers with the Daily Bread Food Bank on a regular basis. And she was telling me all the stories about the food crisis that we're in, the food insecurity, and just the incredible need that there is at the food bank at the moment. And I thought, what, if this could be something that we could, get people to rally around and to support, that would be fantastic. So I reached out to the Daily Bread Food Bank. We put together a fundraiser. I still have actually the fundraising page is still available. I can send a link out or however we want to share that. So people are, very much encouraged still to give, even if it's not for this particular fundraiser. There's, it's very sad to see that food banks are at the risk of running out of food. I mean, it's horrible, but it's also been so heartening to see the support that it's garnered. When we flew out to London, we'd hit our fundraising goal, and then when I looked after the swim, we'd hit. I think we're at about 150% of the goal at the moment, and but the need is still there. And if people want to give, I think it's a great way to show the caring and compassion that I know that we all have.
And for those wondering, we do have a link to the donation page in the description. But also, if you just Google Daily Bread Food Bank Sam Garrison, it should be one of the top things that pops up on your Google search, and you can click on that and donate. Sam, thank you so much for sharing your story and doing this all for a wonderful cause.
Oh, thank you. It's been great talking to you, and it's been really, really a life-changing experience. And so, like I said before, if I could encourage people to try something similar and to get that feeling, it's something everyone should experience in their life.
Sam, before we end it all, any shout outs you want to give to people who helped you along the way through this journey?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have done it without all the support, but definitely the people I'd love to thank. I mean, my crew with Nicola, Monique, Sharon. It's such a commitment to be on that crew, to wait to basically wait in the UK until we get a phone call, and then have to drop everything when the weather hits and just say, okay, we're going to go. And we're going to be on that boat for 18 hours, maybe seasick. And they all jumped at the opportunity. So it was fantastic. And, my coach, Ken Lumsden, for all her support and training. Joanna for all her patience, the long hours of training. Yeah, it's just been amazing with the support. They call it a solo swim, but I don't think I could have done this alone.
Thanks so much, Sam. Really appreciate you sharing your story.
Thank you.
That was Sam Garrison, a high school teacher at Martin Grove Collegiate in Toronto, speaking with me about becoming one of just 36 Canadians to complete a solo swim across the English Channel. I'm Cormac Mac Sweeney, and that was The Big Story. You can send us your feedback on this episode or any other episode by emailing us at hello@thebigstorypodcast.ca or leave a voicemail at 416-935-5935. You can find us on the Seeker app or on all your favorite podcast players. Please rate, review, follow, and share. Thanks for listening.